everyone, welcome back to chapter number 2, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. In the previous class we had been learning about Androecium. In today's class we are going to start with Gynoecium. Gynoecium, which is also called as carpel, would contain three main parts, that is stigma, style and ovary. The ovary consists of numerous ovules. Ovules remain connected to the ovary wall with the help of a small stalk-like structure. We call it as the funicle. This shows the longitudinal section of an ovule. The kind of ovule shown here is anatropous ovule. There are usually four kinds of ovule, of which we are only going to study about the anatropous ovule. The funicle is a short stalk which is connecting the ovule with the ovary wall. The region where the funicle comes in contact with the rest of the ovule is called as hilum. The ovule in its core has the megaspore mother cell. It is surrounded by a multi-layered body which is composed of number of parenchymatous cells. It is called as nucellus. The nucellus above it has surrounding protective covering. Two layers of them could be observed here. They are called as the integuments. The integuments are those structures which after fertilization form the seed coat. The region right under the ovule where there is no integument is called as the micropyle. It is that region from where the pollen tube enters into the ovule. Here you can see right exactly to the opposite to the micropyle, there is a region which is called as chalaza. Now let us study about megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis, which means the formation of megaspore, and that is from the megaspore mother cell, which is much similar to that of the microsporogenesis which we studied in the previous class. Once the megaspore is formed, it will undergo development. So both of these processes we are going to study here. The megaspore mother cell, if we talk about its ploidy, it has two sets of chromosomes. That means it is a diploid cell. It further undergoes meiotic division. In its two stages, it will further give rise to 4 megaspores. But of the 4 megaspores, unlike the process of microsporogenesis, you will find that only one of them remains functional. So what happens to the remaining 3? Those 3 get degenerated. So at the end of megasporogenesis, you will only have one functional megaspore. This functional megaspore further undergoes development, in which it will go through 3 mitotic divisions. These mitotic divisions are only karyokinesis. The term karyokinesis means nuclear division, which is not followed by cell wall formation. When cell wall formation occurs, we call it as cytokinesis. Here, what we observe is the megaspore will further divide the nucleus into 2. 2 nucleated stage is observed after the first mitosis. At the end of the second mitosis, those 2 nuclei further divide to form 4 nuclei. One more time, when the mitosis occurs, it will give rise to 8 nuclei. So at the end of this 3 mitotic divisions, we obtain 8 nucleated stage. Now after that, it is followed by the rearrangement of the nuclei. Of the 4 nuclei present at each pole, 1 nucleus from each of this pole moves towards the center. So at each pole you will see 3 nuclei are present. Followed by this, cell wall formation occurs. So now we have 7 celled but 8 nucleated structure. The 3 cells which are present at the chalazal end, they are named as the antipodal cells. To the center, the nuclei which have moved, they are called as the polar nuclei. So we have 2 polar nuclei here, and this would undergo fusion. After undergoing fusion, it will be called as the definitive or secondary nuclei. Before undergoing fusion, it will be called as polar nuclei. So when 2 polar nuclei undergo fusion, it will give rise to 1 definitive nuclei. At the micropylar end, again 3 cells are seen, of which to the center, the cell which is seen is called as the egg cell. This is going to form the female gamete. Besides that, there are 2 other cells. They are called as the synergids. So the egg cell remains surrounded by 2 synergids on either side. This synergids would be provided with a connective tissue called as filiform apparatus, which helps in further guiding the pollen tube towards the gametes. So here when the pollen tube enters, it will be having two male gametes. Remember, we had studied in the previous class, two male gametes. One of it fuses with the egg cell, the other fuses with the polar nuclei. So since fertilization occurs here twice, we will be calling it as double fertilization. About fertilization, we will be studying in the next class. Thank you very much.